Hey, banjo. Yeah, banjo. I go. Jesus Christ. Apollo, hey. While Apollo, Jesus. Apollo, hey. While Apollo, Jesus. What a melody, man. Yagale no yambo. Apollo, the Germany banner, Kuni way, Kuni way. Only Apollo, if I see Gayana, no. Machamela yemana yengale nunya meko apolo ni chama ni bane koni wa ishi oni abalole e ba ishi kaya na no ikapolo wala polo ti Yesu kone apolo wala polo ti Yesu joy. What's a melody, man? Yagale no yameko. Apollo ni chama ni bane koni wa ishi oni abalole e ba ishi kaya na no. What's a melody, man? Yagale no yameko. Apollo ni chama ni bane koni wa ishi oni abalole e ba ishi kaya na no. Oni abalole e ba ishi kaya na no. I won't be mommy. If they love you, mommy, yes, mommy. If they love me, no, mommy, yes, mommy. Mommy, no, if they love you, mommy, yes, mommy. If they love me, no, mommy, yes, mommy. If they love me, no, Mommy, oh, if they love you, mommy, yes, mommy, even mommy, no, my mommy, yes, mommy, even mommy, no, my if they love you, mommy, yes, mommy, even mommy, no, my mommy, yes, mommy, even I don't want okay. All right. A very good evening to you, and welcome to the show. I wanted to meet you in a minute, bro, and you raise Kwaku Gyasi Bonsu. And I'm about to say, I want him. And some of us who my Ghana, if you're will be out. And I'm going to say some of them of the 2 and and 70 be break. So, also probably to me, a friend number near 0208 144 8773. 0208 ofra ye be fadodo e wano man wa join imagine e na meka no de bia na e na no pay e na nwumre awareness with the and ye de bram bibi amuti will be a very good evening to you. No people say and then of course my Ghana mu and then you bring a journalist yeah chichi omo kika nsem yeah chichi omo na ye nyina ye ni esi oh my God ye pretend say ye nim ni esi a na che say yankasa nso no yanka no correct nti ye nyina ye nim ni esi ewo ɔman Ghana mu yɛ kan na kyerɛ sɛ ye nyina ye nim sɛ ɛyɛ yɛ politicians ɛne yɛ mmabunu a ɔmu nim anaasɛ ɔmo ankasa ɔmo adwene mu no ɔmo fi sɛ nneɛma bi kɔ so wɔ ɔman no mu a ɔmo ani ɛnyɛ ho you know nti yɛbɛka ho asɛm ebi ɛyɛ ye nyina ye nim journalist a yɛakyekyekye ɔmo a ɛyɛ this week yi ɛnora I nani nafa near tie and then it said Oliver Baker has also been arrested. Of UK ha in our call Ghana through Kotoka International Airport any farm. Now I'm of be pre air can say and some air cost to my Ghana mono. A year as a film kakra because you were my yadimra in a year. In Japan, is still be boom raswa. I was here, Mam Rano, any panidi. But Kamiako say, or mana a woman. So be boom raswa is very difficult. Say, it in the Panabako court. The reason why, meaning, because every democratic nation, a or maya, was said, can be mammy, can be. Any emra and so yeah, that is the only way. Say we are a sovereign and a democratic nation. But baby, ote na se uyi obi pone na se nipa no bu tumi sene wa odi ni tumi ebulewu ano odi punish wo no kame akoye se your man a yen fa yen kan aman a independent and I say practicing democracy. So we are all worried. Now, what is happening is that people are calling for coup. And as I'm talking to you now, I don't know why anybody will support coup. Because and then Makai Bibi Kakra afa Professor Jampo. Professor Jampo say more advocacy for coup. It means you are killing the nation. If you advocate for coup, it means you are killing the nation. You know, Bia and Abia or Tisa as them we are here. But Mumbai in Pahumra, Yaba, and some of the degree, Yabasa Atlas. What's a man? You gotta know your boy. I'm only taking banner to you only Abalone, if I should what's a man? You gotta know your boy. I'm only taking banner to you only Abalone, if I should Walabolo Jesus, Walabolo Jesus, joy, joy. What's a lady, man? Yagale, no, you make boy. Apollo, the Germany, Bane, good, you are a good, you are she. Only Apollo, the by Shikayana, no. What's a lady, man? Yagale, no, you make boy. Apollo, the Germany, Bane, good, you are a good, you are she. Only Apollo, the by Shikayana, no. Only Apollo, the by Shikayana, no. Oh, the by Shikayana, no. I won't mommy, mommy, you can move your mommy, mommy, yes, mommy, even mommy, no age, in my area, oh, mommy, oh, mommy, yes, mommy, even mommy, no age, in my area, oh, you can move your mommy, mommy, yes, mommy, even mommy, no age, in my area, oh, mommy, oh, mommy, yes, mommy, even mommy, no age, in my area, oh. I want mommy, 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 oh, you can hold your mommy, mommy, yes, mommy, even mommy, no, in my area, oh, mommy, mommy, yes, mommy, even mommy, no, in my area, oh, you can hold your mommy, mommy, yes, mommy, even mommy, no, in my area, oh, mommy, 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 yes, mommy, even mommy, no, in my area, oh, even mommy, no, in my area, ah, even mommy, no, in my area, even mommy, no, in my area, oh, I don't want to now, I don't want I don't want to now, da 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 da
Ose woku wose kokoko. Ah. Okay. Yeah, quite no. Not just moment yenti audio we hopefully everything as a moment as a moment. Okay, yɛbɛma ma so te neɛ ɛkɔ so sɛ audio no mo yi mo me nkɔ
Mommy, yes, mommy. Give it mommy, no age. My yare. Give it mommy. Mommy, yes, mommy. Give it mommy, no age. My yare. Mommy, mommy, yes, mommy. Give it mommy, no age. My yare. Give it mommy, no age. My yare.
Okay. I will be the coward if I allow you to perpetuate falsehood. This one is coming from the mind. For hoax, for again. Now, the wise men in judge clocks knows what to do. This was coming from Kofi Pentel on our Central. We'll be talking about this issue. To be quite honest, I love this issue and the way he put it. Also, the wise men in judges clocks knows what to do when it comes to I think North MP's court case. Now, what is happening? And then say, let me give you the background story. Kofi Bentel urges court to be mindful in the hearing of the case. Now, decision taken in court has outside consequences. This one is coming from Kofi Bentel. Any decision taken in court has an outside consequence, and he is saying, say, the judges and the wise men in judges clocks knows what to do. The vice president of policy think tank in Money Africa, Kofi Bentel, has expressed confidence in the court's ability to deliver good judgment in the oncoming or ongoing case against lawmaker James Gyasi. Now, the member of parliament for Asin North is currently facing civil and criminal charges before the Supreme Court and the High Court. Now, whilst his position as MP is being contested, he has also been charged by the Attorney General Office for deceit of public office or officer. Now, contrary to Section 251B of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, forgery of passport or travel certificate, contrary to Section 151B of the Passport and Travel Certificate Act 1967, NLCD 155, knowingly making a false statutory declaration contrary to Section 5 of the Statutory Declaration Act 1971, Act 389, among others. Now, let us read or say, reacting to this on Joy FM news file on Saturday, Kofi Bentel admonished the judge to be circumspective in the hearing of this case and delivery of judgment so as to avoid playing into the hands of some political element who may have parochial interest in the case. Now, whoever happens in the court has a political repercussion outside the court. Now, whatever happens in the court has a political repercussion outside the court. In this case, there is a political issue playing out, and the effect of what is done in the court, rightly so, will have a clear political effect. Now, what is happening? And I said, our court must be mindful of the effect of their action and inactions, and be careful that their actions do not play into the hands of the politicians. And if they do, if they so wish it to be, let it be, he said. Now, Kofi Bentel, however, reiterated his confidence in the judicial system, indicating that he is certain the right thing will be done as far as the case is concerned. Now, we are all watching and we know what is going on. The judges live in this country. They know what is going on. Gary and his colleagues have a right to pursue what they are pursuing. And the NDC has a right to complain what they or what. That is why have you waited all this time? But at the end of the day, I still have faith in our court. The wise man in Judge Cloth knows what to do.
Banjo. Why go?
028 448 is the number. Once again, Otunfo replied, Domahene does not owe Asante allegiance, say Domahene. Now, the Omahene of Doma traditional area, Oslagifo Ajimanbedu II, has emphasized that it cannot be said that the Asante Otunfo say to Abibu II is bigger than him. Jeka say who is bigger? I said just say. Hey, ask the move. All right, let's move on this story. The Domahene, having dominated the news some weeks ago, is back for the same reason, accusing the Asante of twisting history. Yasamu, Omodi Kohene, Aura Otunfo in his last response to the Domahene, with whom he has been engaging in a back and forth banter, stated that allegiance to the golden stool which he occupies is a privilege and not a servitude, as the Domahene was reported to have alleged. Now, according to Otunfo Abibu, who sent his response to the Domahene during the first meeting of the Asante Traditional Council for the year, the Domahene owes allegiance to the Asante Kingdom and that he was not engaging any falsehood by stating such facts. However, in a new video cited by Ghana Web, the Domahene has pointed out certain claims made by Otunfo and Asantes, which he insisted are untrue. Now, among other things, Osajefo Ajimanbedu II, who is the High Court judge, said that contrary to assertions by the people of Asante, the Constitution of Ghana does not regard Otunfo to be above other paramount chiefs. He said that Otunfo, by the setup of the Asante chieftaincy, structure, is alleviated above paramountalism under his jurisdiction. Now, however, the Domahene added that the authority of Otunfo is limited to his jurisdiction, adding that the Chieftaincy Act put the Asantehene and all paramount chiefs in one category. It is not because I don't respect you or dislike you, because some of us are your equals. But sometimes the Asante says our king is bigger than anyone. That is a lie. I am a land lawyer, and when you go into the Chieftaincy Act, it lists the categories of traditional leaders in Ghana. In the first category, it says Asantehene and paramount chiefs, followed by divisional chiefs, sub-divisional chiefs, Odikros, and other chiefs, are recognized by the National House of Chiefs. Is that a lie? Do you classify something above another, and when they are all placed in a defined category as, say, A, Osajifu Ajima Bedu, the second explained that the status of Asantehene as a king is due to the chieftaincy structure of the Asante Kingdom, where he has other paramount chiefs under him. He added that same cannot be said for other jurisdictions where the head are paramount chiefs, and emphasized that this does not make Otunfo superior to other paramount chiefs who are placed in the same category as him in the Constitution. The matter is still on. 0208 is the number. Kwaku Gyasi Bonsu ni awareness media na mede bro ene nyumre na hima ene na bidwomfo entimi antenase yebeka e-living so ho asem entimi srewa se o hwe me na office of free I'll be to me afre 0208 and I'll be to me afre 0748472278 ni nyina de obebi fidie mu ha I'm for keka. Yes, it don't my hand or you brief. And you know, you. I'm for the keka. Opposite don't my hand or you brief. And I'm a boy. How you brief? They are not just so you brief. All right, now listen to this one. I am told Efia Akoto was sacked from Maslow because she married an NDC man, Kennedy Ohene Japan. The Asin Central Member of Parliament, Kennedy Ohene Japan, has said that he has been informed about the dismissal of Efia Akoto. I don't know why, but while condemning the development, the legislator mentioned that the basis for Efia Akoto's dismissal from the Microfinance and Small Loan Center is unfortunate. It's unfathomable. Now, I am told Efia Akoto has been sacked from Maslow. They say she got married to an NDC man, so they sack her. He said on Accra based on Mine FM, the legislator believes that the party's action against members will be detrimental, stressing that there is the need for something to be done about the situation. 281448773. Wagaleno baya.
Ochanele Yemana, Yagale Nunya Mekoti, Apoloni Kemani, Kuni Waye Kuni Waichi, Moni Apolole, Ebai Shikea, Moni Apolole, Ebai Shikea, Ebai Shikea, I want to Mommy, oh, you can mommy, oh, mommy, mommy, yes, mommy, even mommy, no, mommy, yes, mommy, even mommy, no, you can mommy, oh, mommy, mommy, yes, mommy, even mommy, no, mommy, mommy, yes, mommy, even mommy,
Okay. Yeah, okay, anyway. All right. Earlier on, I was talking about a Central member of Parliament, Kennedy Ohini, Japan, who said he has been informed about the dismissal of the Fear Akuto. Now, whilst demanding the development or whilst condemning the development, the legislature mentioned that the basis for a Fear Akuto's dismissal from the Microfinance and Small Loan Center is unfortunate. Now, I told Fear Akuto, I am told Efia Akutu has been sacked from Maslow. They say she got married to an NDC man, so they sacked her. He said on Accra based on Mine FM, this is what Canadian Japan said on his radio, an Accra based radio, that he was told that because Efia Akutu got married to Chibani, they got rid of her. Now the legislator wasn't happy, and so he said, I believe that the party's action against members will be detrimental, stressing that there is the need for something to be done about the situation. He noted that members of the party are peeved by the action of the party and are rather preaching against the party, a move he believed will not go well for the party if nothing is done about it. Okay, Kwaku Gyasi Bonsu ni ɔsɛ wɔbanyɛ nu mbɔ sɛ deɛ bɛtu yɛ biara no yɛmfa ho koraa ɔde aseɛ deɛ bɛtu yɛ biara no yɛmfa ho koraa na ma yɛnkɔ so na yɛnkan nea Kennedy Japan ɛɛka ɛfa afia akoto a yɛapam no wɔse the legislator wɔse he noted that members of the party are peeved by the actions of the party and are rather preaching against the party, a move he believed will not go well for the party if nothing is done about it. Now, members of the party are bitter about what is happening in the party. They are the ones preaching against the party now. And if nothing is done about it, this will lead us to opposition. Now, the businessman said this. And I don't know whether it's something that will send MPP to your friend is saying opposition. But what I know and I say, and I said what I believe in, and I say, at the moment, you know, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, the administration, you know, and yet that popular, you know, is I don't know whether a amount for and ama the party and Nana Abe unpopular. Now, it's sad, say somebody that we had trust in, we believe, say he is the savior, but unfortunately, Nanado doesn't see himself as such. People are saying, say, he is looking for his own parochial interest. Now, somebody said something that I find it difficult to believe. Also, Nanado is at the moment fulfilling his childhood dream of becoming a president. So he doesn't really care, he doesn't believe, he doesn't have anything to give to Ghanaians. That is what somebody said. Now, let's move on to this story coming from the minority leader in parliament. Haruna Idrisu has disclosed that the House was yet to debate on the policy principle of the controversial e-levy. Now, he said the minority, as they had already communicated, are against the levy. Now, addressing demonstrators who participated in the Yenchia demonstration when they presented their petition to the House, the lawmaker said the minority will ensure that Parliament is no longer a rubber stamp house. He said on the matter of the e-levy, the minority will stand with the Ghanaian populace who are against it. Haruna Idrisu, on the matter of the e-levy, there is even more to it than many of you can accept. This afternoon, I say without fear of contradiction that the percentage is 3.75% and not 1.75%. He challenged anyone with technical competency who understands the teleco arena to contradict his assertion. We have no hesitation telling you where we stand. We are against e-levy. We will not support e-levy. We will not support any measure of physical consolidation. Haruna Idrisu stated on Ekwe. He stated, okay, now the e-levy issue, no, I don't really know what is happening. But your tax expert, we want to engage him on this issue. And in no time, I'll talk to him. Because we have an expert who knows what to do when it comes to Sa e-levy issues. We we can't say we don't pay taxes. In the country that we live in, we pay a lot of taxes. We pay a lot of taxes. And I don't know why e-levy is not popular. But if you ask my way, say ubeye bibi na sade na awoye ebe affect ehiafo a I say you have to stop because and think about it carefully. I'm not saying say stop, but I'm saying stop and think about it carefully because ehiafo ye ni they don't have anybody to talk on their behalf. And that is what makes it so difficult. We quite remember, as somebody who talks on radio all the time, we quite remember all the promises that were made to the poor people in our country, especially the Kalayi. They were the people who once supported Akufo-Addo's election campaign by contributing £1, 1 cedi, 2 cedis to the campaign. And they were giving promises, said, even not to find them a job, because the government established, said, Kaya Yuejumana is good enough. So they decided, said, they will move on by trying to find them a better place for them to sleep. So they were going to build them hostels. And I quite remember the vice president standing in front of the Ghanaians and making this public. And everybody was there, everybody was listening to him. And we criticized him by saying, what they need is not accommodation, what they need is jobs. As I talk to you now, the jobs hasn't come, the accommodation hasn't come. So we don't really know whether they were deceiving the Kaya. Now, the same people have come out to say, without the e-levy, Ghana economy will collapse within weeks. Since the time you present a budget, NCC, it's been several weeks. E-levy has not been passed. So what does it mean? Is the economy in tatters or what? We don't know. But that is what they have said. Say I'm passing e-levy now. Within weeks, the economy will collapse. As I talk to you, I don't really know whether the economy has collapsed or not. But we'll be talking about how journalists are being intimidated in the country right now. And here in Senanado is the Attorney General who sat on that bill, the freedom of speech bill. And it is one of Nanado's credentials. At the moment, we don't know whether Nanado really understood what he was doing, whether he understood the freedom for information bill, whether he understood what it was before sticking his head for it. We don't know. So what we are saying right now, people know, and I know, and you know, say Nanado was the Attorney General who presided over this Freedom for Information Bill, which Obia I can say Nanado is not a tyrant, but he is one of the people that we can trust when it comes to Freedom for Information Bill. At the moment, if you look at how journalists has been ransacked in a rumble style, we are talking about Bobby Ansa, after finishing presenting, policemen ambush him and pick him away. you know, and we are talking about Oliver Baker, okay, Fix the Country artist. Now, listen, Oliver Baker's issue, I don't understand some of the comments that he made, a little bit, but I don't know if we're breaking law now in front of court. Now, a group alleged he is being held in uh in 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 one of the cells about Accra. Now, police dismissed claims stating that lawyer and family have met him. Les Oliver Baker, the detained convener of the Fix the Country movement, has been on a hunger strike since his arrest on Friday, February 11, 2022, by security operatives. Now, according to the movement, police reached out to the lawyers of Baker late Saturday, and and they said the guy said he doesn't want to eat anything. So I want to take a quick break and come. And when I come back, we continue with this one. Let's look at how people are talking about this particular issue.
I want to mommy, mommy. Ike mami oh mami, mami yes mami. Ike mami no ede ne mayare oh mami oh mami yes mami. Ike mami no ede ne mayare oh. Ike mami oh mami, mami yes mami. Ike mami no ede ne mayare oh mami oh mami yes mami. Ike mami no ede ne mayare oh. Mommy, 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 oh, you can mommy, oh, mommy, mommy, yes, mommy, ben mommy, no, my oh, mommy, oh, mommy, mommy, yes, mommy, ben mommy, no, my oh, you can mommy, oh, mommy, mommy, yes, mommy, ben mommy, no, my oh, mommy, oh, mommy, mommy, yes, mommy, mommy, no, my Ibe mommy no eje, my Ibe mommy no eje, my Ibe mommy no eje, my I don't want to now, your low. I don't want you now, your low. I don't want you now, your da 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 da.
Okay, now listen to the story again. The police dismisses claims stating that lawyers and families have met him. Now, Oliver Baker, the detained convener of the Fix the Country movement, has been on hunger strike since his arrest on Friday, February 11, 2022, by security operatives. Now, according to the movement, Police reached out to the lawyer of Baker uh, Vama, Vamau late Saturday after they had refused to grant them any information about his whereabouts. Now, the statement titled Oliver Alert Update Number 3 was posted on their Facebook page on Sunday, February 13, 2022. And among others, disclosed that a meeting with his lawyers spanned some 2 hours. Now, the meeting, which lasted for about 2 hours, involved uh, a discussion, a discussion, a discussion on the condition, treatment, personal liberty, and the possible arrangement of Mr. Baker uh, possible arrangement of Mr. Baker. Now, the police also gave the lawyers an opportunity to have a word with Mr. Baker, who has been on a hunger strike since he was accosted and detained yesterday, Friday, 11th November 2022, by unidentified armed men. Now, the statement read in parts. Police confirmed in a statement early on Saturday that the activist had been arrested because of a social media post threatening a coup. He is due to be arraigned before a court on Monday, February 14, 2022. Now, at about 6:30 p.m. Today, Mr. Oliver Baker, lawyers received a call from the officials at the Temaritna command of the police service inviting them for a meeting. Now, the meeting, which lasted for about 2 hours, involved a discussion on the condition, treatment, personal liberty, and the possible arraignment of Mr. Baker before the court. Now, the police also gave the lawyers an opportunity to have a word with Mr. Baker, who has been on hunger strike since he was accosted and detained yesterday, Friday, 11th February 2022, by unidentified men. We also wish to announce that 4 activists of the Fix the Country movement were also arrested for reasons which are yet to be discussed by the Temaritna police. They have, however, been released. We wish to express our sincere gratitude to you, the concerned public, for your stern support every step of the way. So, Sisi Aminoka say, Mr. Baker is in the bosom of the law, by saying, say, if Mokai say, uh, your friend is saying, uh, Chairman Bonsu, have a party. The party no have you know, or the e-levy cake in the party. Now, ɛho asɛm ɛna Oliver Baker kan sɛ sɛ ɔmutumi paase saa law na ɛyɛ law na ɔno as a person will stage a coup. But yɛbusa no no ɔsɛ stage a coup in a legal manner. Or a lawyer, so he knows what he's talking about. Mene wo a yɛgyina ha yi, we don't really understand the law well. Ain't we know what is happening. Now let's look at this emotional moment. Lady surprised roasted plantain seller with a wad of N 500 naira note. This one, you know, when people have money, okay, sometimes they want people to know, say, oh yeah, papa. So they show off. And to me, any kind of show off, whether it's helping somebody or not, you know, uh, you're good. Now, let's look at this evidence, Accra, from uh, Professor Adai. Amanfo abɔdakyi saa say Professor Adai, Papa Bekasa, and Professor Adai is saying, say, whoever says that there's no corruption, that person is blind. Any extra. Now, airport MD sacked. Some judge asked 5 glaring questions that beg for uh, answers. Now, let's look at this. When the announcement of the sacking of the managing director of Ghana Airport Company, Yao Kwakwa, hit the news, Ningo Pram Pram MP Sam George was one of the few people who isolated the development from the issue between Mr. Kwakwa and the CEO of McDan Group, Daniel Macaulay. Now, speaking on the Saturday, February 12, 2022 edition of Joy News 5, Mr. Sam George insisted Mr. Kwakwa was only a victim of a power play, while insisting that Mr. Kwakwa was only caught up in the crossfire of the alleged power play. Sam George said there was more to the issue than the public has been made to know, and thus demanded answers to some issues pertaining to the matter. Why was Mr. Kwakwa sacked? Did it have anything to do with McDan and the terminal, or it had to do with other things? We hear a lot of things in this town. It is important that we realize that at times things may not appear as they seem until you dig beneath them. I know that the parliamentary committee was with Hassan at the airport. They had invited the minister and had gone there to see everything that had to be put in place at the terminal, what they call the SOPs. Now, someone will ask, is this a power tussle between business interests? Is that why Papa has become the pawn in a bottle between two elephants? People are in the aviation speaking know that today private jets are landing in Ghana's airport. They are being served not through the regular Terminal 3 yet. You and I use, Sam George said. Now, according to Sam George, the airport MD recent call out of McDan Group for its non-compliance to procedures in operating at the Kotoka International Airport was not the main contributor to his sackings. Now, the Ghana Airport Company Limited, after calling out McDan Private Jet Services, suspended the company from operating at the Terminal 1 of KIA. Now, Mr. Kwakwa dismissal has since been attributed by many to the decision to suspend the operation of McDan at the airport. Now, but Mr. Sam George has alluded to a different opinion and further demanded some answers on news file on Saturday. They are being serviced through CIP. This or does this terminal one poses an existential business threat to CIP? And who are the individuals behind CIP? Is it a tussle between Madam and the beneficiaries of the CIP that has led to Papa being the sacrificial lamb? There are so many questions. These are the questions you need to be frankly answering to Ghanaian people, because one day the truth will be known publicly. And I am saying to you that the business interest behind the CIP at Terminal 3, which is currently serving the private jet industry, and the emerging McDan private jet launch at Terminal 1. Mr. Kwakwa is the unfortunate victim of power play between two elephants. He stated, meanwhile, the Vice President of Policy Think Tank, Imani Africa, says the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority and the Ghana Airport Company failed to do due diligence in the checking procedure regarding McDonald's private jet launch. Now, he believes the businessman was strictly doing bold business and therefore cannot be faulted for what has happened. 0208-144-8773. This is WhatsAppradio.com, our weather media. Okay, everyone. I must admit, they had the numbers. This one is coming from MPP. MP react to Yenchia the more 10 out. Now, I must admit that they had the numbers. Stephen Amua, popularly called Sticker, said in reaction the recent Yenchia demonstration that hit Accra. The youth wing of the opposition National Democratic Congress (NDC) on Thursday went on a Yenchia demonstration to protest against the passage of the electronic transaction levy, which has been called the e-levy, introduced by the government. Now, they were joined by some civil society organizations and Ghanaians who are strongly against the 1.75 levy. Now, reacting to the numbers during a panel discussion on Peace FM morning show, the Inshiayaso member of parliament asked the ruling MP to double their steps. Now, Steve Sticker said, to be quite honest, he was surprised the number of people who turn up. He didn't think they had the numbers, but unfortunately, they did. Oh, 208 144 8773.
Ajomonye na na-ehi eyo da 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 da. Akwemo na nne akwemo mawu okwe iko aotoma aotoma akwemo na nne akwemo mawu okwe iko aotoma Ajomonye na na-ehi eyo da 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 da.
Okay. Yeah, move on here, Queen. Okay, now Chie. All right, now listen to this. A social commentator disagree with criminal prosecution. This one is coming from Bobby arrest related to allegation made against first, second ladies. Now, instead of the state through the police using a criminal route to remedy false allegation made against the first and the second ladies, the do should rather seek civil redress in the case involving a journalist with Accra FM. Now, this is the voice, the view of two top social commentators, veteran journalist Abdul Kwaku Malik and US-based academic Professor Stephen Asari, popularly referred to as Kwaku Aza. Now, the two who reacting specifically to the arrest of Kwabena Bobe Ansan slammed the route the police had opted to take with Bakum, describing it as unsustainable and wrong-headed. Now, on his part, Professor Azar said the current trend risks eroding years of activism for freedom of speech and press. Now, without mentioning the First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo and the Second Lady Samira Bawumia explicitly, they infer that all persons interested in clearing their names should sue for defamation. What the two mean said about taking a civil right. Now, let those whose integrity and reputation might have been damaged by the communication or commission or omission of the journalist proceed on civil liberal wave light to cure the mischief and malice. No need for criminal investigation or prosecution. Bakun wrote on his Facebook post on February 11th, 2022. Now, the civil court are there for those who feel defamed. Above all, state actors who provide reliable information to the people need not worry about false publications, just as most of us turn out state propaganda. We are I can see people calling above all, state actors who have provided a reliable information to the people need not worry about false publication, just as some of us turn out state propaganda. We are equally able to turn out false reportage, especially when we have alternative and timely facts, Professor Azar stated. They are saying, Ekwanya Omofaso, Ekofa, Kwabna Bobe Ansan, and Oliver Baker, and Normano. It is not on. At the moment, people are saying, Nanado, a tyrant. Do you see any tyranny over here? Do you see Nanado as somebody who doesn't want to listen? And I said, do you see Nanado as somebody who is drunk with power? Somebody says something, or say, if you have authority and you don't have love, you will risk the power that you have. If you have authority and you don't have love, you will definitely risk the power that you have. And you uti was a radio. Kwaku Gyasi Bonsu yeah awareness jumedi na me de bro. And then you nana hima na bidwamfo entimiamba. Enti me represent omo ewo efidiemo opeso fra 0208 144 8773. Ade ba kwa me pese ye hwe ne se ekwanya ye fa so ediko che sa journalist ya ye kan mo ho asem yi. According to source no, Bobe Ansa was ambushed. Wako radio station, Wako presenting the show every. According to sources, no, normally because of the way omotie no, normally pon radio show, they don't go home straight. They hang around, check all areas, and sometimes they walk to certain places as Senebea car beba form. So this is exactly what Bobi Ansa did, as he does all the time. Unfortunately, M said the police have been there, they've monitored his movement for a very long time, so they knew what he was going to do. So immediately, Upie Abonte se okofaka na eni ebeche no ne tam no de no koye. Now, we know Senanado has prided himself. He's got a credential of being the lawyer or the attorney general who sat on the Freedom for Information Bill. As we talk now, the NPP, if you mention anything about Nanado, they will tell you, say, Nanado is not a tyrant. But let me ask you, Ukochi Obia, in a way and a manner, Omachi, Bobe Ansane, Oliver Baker, ne Omo Kika Hone, no man, if you go and arrest somebody like that, what can you do? That is my question. And then pa na obey say nipa. Apart from sending that person to court. But the fact is, somebody says something who say, the judges, the wise men in the judges' clock, they know better. And they know, say, every decision taken in the court, has a repercussion outside the court. I mean, people are watching. People are not stupid. This is what I keep saying all the time. As far as our umunipa, oninu bumane se onyansa te se won ankasano. You have a problem of developing your country, because if you think that you are the only wise person on this land, you might be fooling yourself. Because listen, you can never be the most brightest person ever Ghana. When you speak, nobody can not say anything. It can't be. But if we want to develop the country now, one thing that we have to do is to make sure, say, we believe in the people that we have, say, they also have brains. They can think and make a judicious decision until Sesadi and Bebemono. This kind of power play, any Norman, it will not help us. Nanado, you will one day leave the presidency. If you leave the presidency, you will not be powerful as you are. John Mahama has been there. And then people can say things against him just because we gave him power and we took the power from him. One day we are going to take the power from you. And nobody will recognize you. You speak and nobody will listen. You pass and nobody will look at you. So why don't you use this opportunity to make sure, say, you put things in place? When we take the power from you, you will benefit some of the decisions. You benefit from some of the decisions you have taken. I don't blame Nanado though. I don't blame Nanado. Because I quite remember when NDC won the election, when Nanado was Attorney General. What is that guy's name? Kofi Adams and all those guys. They went to Nanado's house to go and claim a car. that he was using. So you can see Nanado is somehow bitter about the way he was treated. I can see some of the way he was treated when he was a general. He was attorney general when NDC came into power, and the way they treated him, the way they went to him, they took his car, and they did. You see, he is doing the same thing to we. Unfortunately, he's not doing it to the NDC. He's doing it to ordinary people like journalists. We have to find a way to make sure, say, our democracy stands on its feet. And I don't really know what we are going to do. Because if you look at the level of democracy now. Many more example, we are in UK, London, and WhatsApp radio, broadcasting live, right? Now, if you look at what is happening between the Conservatives and the Labour Party, you cannot treat anybody in the Labour Party as stupid. You can't. That is why it is so difficult for you to lie to people in parliament. Immediately they find out, say, what you resign. That is how the parliament has been made. You cannot lie to parliament because they are equally educated. They have the same power. They have the same authority as you have. And you have to respect them. You have to respect the House of Commons. You have to respect the House. In fact, a diner omukomono is more important to the British people than the people who go in there. Yeah, Bibi Abasa. And then I was watching, your friend is saying, social media. I was going through social media and I saw, say, a lorry has gone over a lady. Sure. There are things that are not right. And we have to find a way to do them in a very decent way. There are things that are not right. You know, if you look at Obia Owu, Dipana Owu no, Oba Yeyinato. And people are trying to resuscitate this lady. For Christ's sake. Why do we treat ourselves like that? With no dignity or whatsoever. And it's so painful and so ashamed. Because remember, say, if you don't change the way you treat somebody, you will be treated the same way. You will be treated the same way. I mean, there's no two ways about it. You will be treated the same way. Obi a wenya accident. Owu. Yeyina to abonten. Trying to resuscitate the lady. Na yaba na hemu nyina egu ho, and they were Mema are trying to save her by pressing her chest. Nobody in the crowd was able to put a cloth on this lady. And people were taking pictures of this lady lying down, dying. I don't get it. There's no way I can understand why we should treat one another like that. Immediately, ohubeka ewo Ghana no, unkwa na onam. You're not part of us anymore. Obi iwu. Yes, when you accident, ewu. But what is so wrong? Se beta frache, se nipa no, yedi na toka kwan ho efom. Aden, yenye nipa. I mean, are we not human being? Enti yenim nyansa. Are we fools? I have seen fox. Omunam mienu. I have seen deer. Omunam mienu a car baku. Na baku jina nenche opeso tam the other form no den koto baby. So between 7 no be 7. Human beings, nipa. That's an Ghana for car bobi. Near yina to car kwan ho. The people who were trying to save this lady, meaning babia omufri, whether they are doctors, whether they are nurses, whether they are from the ambulance department, I don't know. Much not to form. You are trying to press her chest. Enti into me bien wa modibaya modbe kata oba no nase. Se beta frache mo yina to ho na mo ba ni nemu da na nkrofo twa pictures. Why? Why? What is wrong with us? Eye obana oda form no ewuo no ene hayen ana se ni nentemu no na muhu bi da na mo pese mutwa. I can't get it. I cannot understand the philosophy and the psychology of Ghana for mema and ma so be wu. You just want to take a naked picture of that person and send it out. We are in a country where the healthcare is not as the best. I am here. I have a friend. I keep saying this all the time. I have a friend who is rich. Or Yare wo Ghana. Ye chata plane. Every kromha. Eko far no free Ghana. Edin betu kromha ya sheno. Or you okay? You don't have that luxury. You may not have that luxury. And if we can talk to make sure say the health care na wo mind let us do it. Let us do it. Let us preach. And sometimes I don't blame Ghana for Ghana not too much because of the level of their understanding. And I know, say, I'm going to take, people are going to say a lot about what I have said. But the level of NBA civilization, no, it's not there. Ghana obinye skaka kra. Osi nani bi because we sit down or waka utumi pema asa. Life is bigger than a mema car any a dime. Abrotre ayewe. You won't crow forward abrotre. Omu wuskapa, but dear friend a dime, omu baby. They don't want to buy any house. You know where they live? They live in their cars. They call it mobile home. Otina ezeta kakra, bear 3 months, and a year. No akotina ebia Cobham kakra, oko Doncaster kakra, oko Manchester kakra, oko Birmingham kakra. Ansa no bewu no. Not the whole of the United Kingdom, but na bebia. Where do you know? Unim he. Ehim fan wetu kwanko. What do you know in this world? Let us try and push young pension for to do the right thing. There's a culture in Ghana. I'm a barber trainer, maybe. When you're paying for, because of respect, and you there's so much ububia, and you de respect yet de to extend, say they now have a club for people you can respect. So we have to have the money, we have to have the girls, we have to have the cars, we have to have the house so that people can respect us. The last time I checked, all the rich people in Ghana, some I would say about 90% of the rich people in Ghana, on my formal club, in Mema club, a man can. So one of them can buy Bugatti and bring it to Ghana, pay tax, and drive in Bugatti. That is okay. Any problem. Me problem kakra ne say. How come everybody is talking about the Bugatti? How come a whole country, 35 million people, one person atop Bugatti, everybody, all the 34 point something million, everybody is talking about the Bugatti. Why? He's the only rich person. But you see, these guys, instead of coming together to run Ghana in an industrial scale, they are buying cars and they are. Somebody saw something on social media. I agree. Ghana for don't know what to do with their money. You know why? Sometimes we think, say, omo bre and san omunyo musika. A lot of them esiko omunya. You see, when you say controversial issues like this, people don't understand. A lot of them siko omenya omambre. I have said it on this radio so many times. Say, in Ghana, there's nobody who is rich or corrupt. There is no single person in Ghana who was sika or corrupt. You know why? Because your environment, is corrupt already. And you are living in a corrupt environment. And you can be corrupt. And you are corrupt. You even get corrupted before you become rich. You can be corrupt. I am telling you a fact. There's no single person in Ghana who is rich and is not corrupt. And I know the reason why I'm saying that. Nanui, you say Obiakoyi Bugatti, okay? I saw on social media, I was just going on social media, and somebody says, can you please show us how much you paid in duty? So therefore, this person who is asking for evidence of tax on Bugatti doesn't trust that the person even paid the correct tax on the Bugatti. I haven't mentioned anybody's name. And we have to treat one another with dignity. We shouldn't think that way. Some people think, this. When you sit in the train, when you sit in the buses, they talk about people who have achieved in life.
about people with names. Oma bobra, and yet because Oma bobra, and your bra, Oma bosse, what talkers. No. People who have influenced the country. They've influenced people. Unfortunately, when it comes to us, that is not what we are looking at. We are looking at how we can be rich and move on. But let me tell you, this is the fact. Say, do we really realize how the future is going to be? We live in a country whereby now the Chinese are taking over the country. And then a Chinese who are my gun and mobile. We live in a country whereby the price of gold is going up every day, but we are prepared to give our gold to a foreigner to take cash with inflation. Say, the government is trying to put in the e-levy. And what I've heard, then they say it is not the money that they need, because Sika e-levy di bebano. It's about only 4 million, about 6 to 7 billion a year. 6 to 7 billion a year. And yes, Kebia. But they want to do that because they want to use that as a collateral. No mo dia Jessica enne. Omu free ho e Canada ho. Mo amobeba no, mo na mo mbechiaka. How evil and how crazy this thing is. Why don't you live according to the money you collect from revenue? Why must we go on and borrow and borrow and borrow and borrow? For what? For what? But that's what we are. That is where we are. Ebusiafo, me twe ho aba me ba ye besa to aso awareness jumedi e na me de bro Kwaku Gyasi Bonsu ni ene nana hemani abedwonfo antumi amba enti menemo ene wo ha me sure so person fra ubetumi afre 0208144873 and ubetumi afre 07484722788 nina edewo ebeba fidie mo ha.
Banjo. Yes, sir. Yele banjo. Banjo. Yele banjo. Yele banjo. Why go? Jesus Christ. Abolo, wala bolo Yesu. Ikabolo, wala bolo Yesu. Wachamele mana yangale no nyameboy abolo ni chengweni bane kuni waye kuni waishi moni abolole e baishi ke anano wachamele mana yangale no nyameboy abolo ni chengweni bane kuni waye kuni waishi moni abolole e baishi ke anano Ikabolo, wala bolo Yesu. Abolo, wala bolo Yesu. Joy. Wachamele mana yangale no nyameboy abolo ni chengweni bane kuni waye kuni waishi moni abolole e baishi ke anano Wachamele ye mana, yagale no nyame boy. Apoloni kemweni bane kuni wa ye kuni wa ishi. Moni abalole e ba ishi ke ya na no. Moni abalole e ba ishi ke ya na da da da. Oh e ba ishi ke ya na no. Hey, I won't me. Just a start. There's always a smile to warm your heart with the Jamaican national family. It's the little differences that set us apart, like the love for you that's in our hearts. The pride we feel comes shining through. We care about you, we really do. So proud to be Jamaican national. To welcome you, we see it's just a start. To see you smile just warms our hearts. What a wonderful feeling, a safe and secure feeling, being part of the Jamaican national family. Being part of the Jamaican national family. Being part of the Jamaican national family. Ele banjo, ele banjo, ele banjo, why go? Bread of life is Jesus Christ. Abolo, wala bolo ti Yesu. Ikabolo, wala bolo ti Yesu.
Okay. Aranachi also the church must take a leading role in the anti-corruption fight. People in authority should lead by example. Professor Emeritus Stephen Adai, a former rector of Gimpa, has tasked political leaders. Okay, has tasked political leaders, political leadership to stand up and counted in the fight against corruption in the country. Now, according to him, there is a pervasive corruption which requires that everyone plays a role in rooting out the canker which has affected all four sides of society. Now, speaking at the 2020 Bible Week Symposium organized by the Bible Society of Ghana in Accra on the theme The Bible, Corruption and Integrity, he described corruption as a systemic problem and hindering the economic growth. So Professor Adai, who is a former chairman of the National Development Planning Commission, that is the NDPC, also pointed out to the fact that it rested on government to make corruption both costly and unattractive. Now, this is where I want us to look at. This is what the Professor Adai is saying. Okay. It is up to the government to make, it is absolutely up to the government to make corruption costly and unattractive. So people who say, change your attitude, you people don't know what you're talking about. It is on all of us. But the people who have power can make it unattractive and at the same time make it costly. Costly to a extent, say, when you are found or caught in the act, Now, they'll send you to court and make you pay for it. You have the punishment that you deserve. That is costly. Make it unattractive is to put system in place. Send a beya nipa be who say, Miko yes idea we are ye bechime. He cited the cases in the mining sector where people take money for their parochial interest, even though the state will have benefited from more revenue if they had exhibited integrity. But someone will take $1 million instead and close eye to corruption, which could rather save the nation 100 million and billions. Corruption in Ghana has become a systemic problem and hindering the economic growth, he said. Now, he stressed anyone in authority who says he wants evidence on corruption is blind. Anyone who says, I want evidence to corruption, the person is blind. All right, moving on the same story as people. When I hear the young people talk, sometimes I'm afraid because they believe there is nothing or no righteousness on this land, even though I believe there are still people here with integrity. But see, when I hear the young people talking, I get scared because they talk as if there's nothing like righteousness on this earth. Professor Dai also said integrity requires total concentration and consistency. Adding, today you are a judge and tomorrow you are at a funeral doing something wrong with an excuse that it is a cultural or it is cultural. Now, he preached about integrity, which he said was a key ingredient in advancing democracy, and identified its opposite as hypocrisy, taxing all present and relevant authority to do all it takes to fight the menace. Now, corruption, thievery, and when the opportunity to be corrupt is high and being found is low, and when the likelihood of being prosecuted and charged is low, he noted. Professor Dai also advocated that political and other public sector leaders need to indicate the anti-corruption fight by living the dream. Go to 081448773. Abba. Okay, now Chie, the Ghana Airport Company Limited, the GACL, has announced to all airlines in the world through the International Airport Transport Association, that is IATA, that the Ghana card will from March 1st, 2022, be recognized as an international traveling document, otherwise called e-passport, for all Ghanaians traveling to Ghana. Ain't me pacho e-passport no. Eh, daddy cry. Abba. All right, the directive also means that Ghanaians in the diaspora needed a Ghanaian passport and a visa to travel back home will now be able to use their card to travel back to Ghana without a visa. Is Ghana going to lose because of Ghana card or whatever? I don't know. So how are the consulate going to leave? Ukta Ghana card. And it will be very difficult for us to get one. How do we get one anyway? I'm a Ghanaian in UK trying to get one. Where can I get one? Because in some no there say eye bibri mame enhwe me hu say sabato afre ana who called mame enhwe amanfo afre na enhwe say betumi ene omo akasa whoever called yenhwe say betumi ene obi akasa because me say amanfo bibri afre abetwam amante ho hwe kra. You know, so let me see if I can get some few calls in. Hold on, because if not, you can call my number. Our studio ha ofra yebefa dodo. Kwaku Gyasi Bonsu nie enti awareness jumedi ena yede bro. Mummy nkoso enti bibia.
Yes, sir. Ele banjo. Ele banjo. Ele banjo. Ele banjo. Ele banjo. Ele banjo. Why go? Bread of life is Jesus Christ. Abolo,
Hello, sir.
Misaka Sabato. Boss, who?
No, line on my friend.
Oh, okay, all right. With the memory song, but me be 3 minutes be na yanko.
Mate. Yo, Kwaku, I'm saying, Samano, baby, down or waka. Na, idea bakwa, make one some kakra. Media, ne, press houses, yeah, the Rainbow Star, Execution. And on ya, dia, a boama democracy, no, and I can be mamin cabino, a coso. And he, Nana Kufado. I didn't have my say, yes, no more. Acquires a second of Baku face back open Mudi Chame, and on the idea a yameyano. Now, who share statement a police for the bias and I may no soon to me media person in India. Then in I say deformation of character idea. Who court no akosama will be. Not the Panama court no be in one. And put a side prayer moke, the Omoya no say, Bovuni Pabi. Some of my side nipa crono or more lawyers or more court.
Yeah.
A cockot trouble now, Moko no Mukuyo.
I agree.
Modi Rainbow Star and a coach sanko for Wilma. Eddie Hanko, put 2 or more thousand and the Modi and Mensa Thompson.
Yeah.
Mensa Thompson came out straight away to apologize and say, oh, he got it all wrong. The okay, and on that. And I deal with idea. And put and there's also a Kwaku once and now Oberman of trying to retract and apologize. So, time also now one year, and I will actually be obey the Ashna.
Ube take
against him. But yeah, it's video from Sankofa from any say, or more Mukasati mining now. Or Mona say, Momum Pedia. Let us say, mono democracy now, Mona Namusamoya champion.
Mami Busa, what do you think is happening? I mean, Tio, at the moment, you know, the government is becoming more unpopular, and you think a quite almost faso is it making them more unpopular? And I say it's just I don't know why they are doing what they are doing.
Abai said the Okarabai are unpopular and Sakura Sunday to 2020. But until I had the Cassidy, you know. Then, Mom, she said the cough from Mukra now share demonstration cry, yeah, other groups to Kabuma. Accra was shaking. And no net, you know, to intimidate these people, to say, and not a bit to me, I'm bringing on down. We will not bring them down. As you said, you know, when even you arrest them on the Rainbow Star, they go to the court gives them bail.
Correct. I mean, Uchi rainbow style, Krana. I can't really get it. How do you arrest somebody in the rainbow style and still take the person to court? I can't get it.
Let's show them where the power lines. Criminal libel law. I'm fighting you through her. No, see, I know a ban with the back through back door.
But don't you think, sir? Don't you think, sir? I mean, I look at the way when NDC came into power, when Nanado left power, and NDC came to power, Kwanya NDC for Nanado far so Kojinika free in Semeni Norma. Don't you think sometimes, some of these things also play back into what is happening right now?
But these are not the media people.
Yeah, but then again, people talking against him now, and he is feeling.
Yeah. You do it in a genuine way. Me, I'm not a beneficiary, so I won't support.
Yeah, but Mibo, why should we as a country sit down, say ye the car mobi, na car na ye the amenipano, se nipana free abemua, was say individual biti say. Abronya money nam ne cars. I mean, Kofi Adams money. So that thing has to be stopped.
Yeah, actually, they never put stop to this. Any or more police in Jubilee House there, and once a month and now Kupado and Cafe, when we say this all comes to credibility issues. Now, from the one, especially when it comes to the lawyer, at some. Ghana for there is no single way up in here. Let me make it clear. My certificate me. These are my law students. I mean, no more. You're passing it out. Every sister, five debates with since I gave you a sign, and I could not do it. My running to Mukaya, TV, the tweet. Everything that is still debatable. I didn't see no opinion to me, Babu, and Tim McCann. So, credibility issue, it can become high under the leadership of the Nana.
Only the material, Matisse, as you call it, chambers, or ne papa certificate, ne bonnet down. No, I don't know. I haven't been there.
Kwaku clearly, and then I mean, no big cafe, no big Busami say. 19 Casa, you didn't know. When him son and papa appointed president, no, and I'm saying, when him say Oko school be blue, I know say, when him success in the Krumha, now man for driving test, man for.
Aye.
And some for to be just time normally now, and young I want to because when I do the gono, or be able to go attend a class, another boy.
Yeah, and I live on crown one coil law or coil economics.
And I'm for so him to ultimate law school. I will be a smart and a bit back. And Okosia law no, I will be with a certificate to be a obedient acquire, young person or back. And now we can only papa then president, appointed president in Tino. Yes, flying in a Bama wasn't quite a swear as a lawyer. But so a lawyer, original law court to me, I did the witness said allowed to be a man. But the basis why we know more because uncle for no your so alpha, maybe a chief of staff, and answer a didn't yabua. I'm going to pass this uncle for you out. And I don't know any papa no on solid person. And you apply the by the Fana and Siatin. I'm a fool a debate between them and the work. Let me say, me have a table between them and your feet. Maintain a papa out about the class. Bibi Sano, a hard journey. A trouble be a your radio so no big car. John Dramani Mahama wants some nice who can wait there. So, Daddy, I say, no, dear, on one brother, but in honor, baby, I want to end it. So, what shall be even vice president or was it? And a year as some time as some young or catching John Dramani Mahama said, when you see John Dramani Mahama's face, you have seen corruption. How come on? There were all the power. Okay, but remember, we might not suffer, but we let it go because we thought to say it doesn't have any harm on John Dramani Mahama person.
I say a campaign, a politics. I mean, so
yes.
you after election, it's a normal way now. You don't
yes.
follow it. So
I
don't know why.
Me prove no media. Usha Kobina Bonia Omodina Tumutu Visia. One was some more kind almost say contempt of court. No, Kakam now for na yayi judges here was so who saw money and now was here 8 judges. I don't know clearly now catchy.
I know.
Yachino from Captain Smart. Name them. Even Omo Facebook Live Crampona or Muaman on it. They trace them to go and harass them.
Your friends or Henny David Jonas Money no man.
Jonas they trace them something. A BC where you're back to some down. If you get the time on a crowd, this year, Yante. By your best starting to your trouble, you need to your coffee take over. No, dear.
But JJ Rollins time there a rampant power and they're not and we do rough to see our grand.
But democracy is starting and actually the channel of activity has gone down.
It's gone down.
I'm for camera so many no maka di omo pe bia President Dramani Mahama na omoko na me cafe
Sabato Chasu why na
me chaso no me call a radio bi so say wa blubru ni ase me kai ya na oba ni bu afu me so say wa bro ni the video no uhu bi o se ani on the presidential jet mo se ani onjina play no huntwa picture o se ani uhu wa ni na na me president da so wa hu de na me so okay o ye ni ni aba o se dabi o ye eduma o president aso ye o se dabi ha no o se so clearly no nobody over Omudi John Dramani Mahama who can be found on a Kupado Kwaku Munimua no more 8 review Munimu so they are again a foreign form. I was so Jaro but and you know the baby Abamu more my opportunity to come to your radio and speak for people to know what is happening in there. We'll always take that opportunity so that the people can know what is happening in our country, Ghana.
Okay, Sabato means made us say,
Why go?
Okay, Busia for Mimraya bit time check at 10 minutes past 7 o'clock. And check Reverend Des Cook. Or the Christian Ministry of Truth. Christian Ministry of Truth. And then some of you can airport once airport MD Sachs. This one is coming from Sam George is asking 5 glaring questions that begs for answers. We spoke about that. Okay, we also spoke about Domahene quote chieftaincy act to make argument about what is happening between himself and Otufo. Canada, Japan. I am told Efia Akuto was sacked from Maslock because she married to an NDC man. The wise men in Judge Clocks knows what to do when it comes to the ascend enough court issue. Also, whatever happens in the courtroom, any decision taken in the courtroom has a consequence outside. We spoke about the minority will eventually support e-levy. This one's coming from former MPP MP, but minority leaders say they would never support it because they believe the figure is even 3.75, not 1.75%.
All right, airport MD sir, people must lose their job. Kofi Bento. I must admit, they had the numbers, and he's talking about Yenchia Demo. This one is coming from Stick. Now, Baby Saga, first and second ladies should sue for defamation. And this one is coming from Kwegu Bago. We spoke about that one too, and Professor Dai. Anybody in authority who wants evidence of corruption is blind. Next week Sunday, Nana Himankasa, be free her radio in the Reverend Desco on the Christian Ministry of Truth Abraham. I want to make a good evening. I'm out of here. Bye bye.